You may have not met me before. Publicly, I'm known because I was one of the few Westerners to head up a Japanese multinational global company, in my case, Olympus. When I ran the company in Tokyo, it employed 47,000 people. It was a top 50 Japanese company. Unfortunately, 3 months after I became the first non-Japanese president of a company I'd worked for 30 years, I discovered Japan's largest ever corporate fraud of $2 billion, the Enron of Japan. And it's a story which goes around the world. It unfortunately involves, as the New York Times reported, threats of involvement by the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia. And if you get a chance, read it. Because in the middle of it, I explain where my passion for road safety comes. And since I was fired by my company for trying to expose the fraud, they had to give me £10 million, which we've given away all to road safety. Nothing more important than human life. So let's go through these slides quickly. SRF, what do we do? Accident black spots, and I'll show you some. We collaborate with governments to change design standards, and back to this point of education, awareness, making road safety on the agenda, something interesting to people. 3,700 people killed every day. It's a shocking carnage, 1.3 million a year. If you want to see what we do around the world, I could talk for 2 hours, which I won't. You can go into our website, and it shows you around the world what we do. But we're here in Greece. You have an extraordinary organization here in RSI, and without embarrassing Vasiliki Melonis, she, to me, if you could be a saint and alive, she would be one. She has dedicated her life, and she has changed the status quo in this country. And she's respected not just here, but around the world. Extraordinary organization. Her team are here as well. And I'm full of respect. They work on an incredibly modest amount of resources, but do so much. Rear seatbelt is commercial, which we worked with them. We come back to the enforcement. So important. But just let me show you a couple. This is when I was with the former Transport Minister, Karamelis, who kindly gave me a lift home in his car. I couldn't believe on one of the main roads in Athens, there was one traffic light could be seen, no overhead, and the second was hidden by a tree. We worked with the Attica government, and the tree was cut and the overhead installed. Second example on the same road, just by the town hall. Very basic things. So the idea that Greece is doing very well. In some ways, its motorway system is fantastic, one of the best in the world, but you come off the motorway and you get basics. You can't see a traffic light. You can't see crossings. Adipsos, I was there visiting. I couldn't believe this road. This was just 18 months ago. Big dual carriageway, but you had to give way to the side roads, tiny little roads. People get accidents all the time. We installed flashing stop signs across the road. Speed enforcement. We installed, just a year ago, the first speed corridor in this country on the N77 between Sakna and Chalkida. Let me show you this. That's the section of road. Awful carnage on this road. On the old national road, there was no records, but about 23 deaths in a 5-year period. Just by Vasiliki's house. When I visited, a week after I last visited, 2 more fatalities occurred. Long road, endemic overtaking. We commissioned a Greek transport engineer to tell us what I think we already knew. Lots of turning movements, people speeding, poor maintenance. One of the worst sections of road in this country. Worldwide studies have shown that simple treatments, this is high-profile signing, this one from Croatia, warning people of a black spot, a similar sort of road as on the N77. This was the first sign SRF paid for, which was on the Corinth to Patras highway, just making bends, so people are aware of the bends ahead. So on this side, we used big gateway signs, repeated huge panels, repeater signs. This is if you travel there now, that was before, heading south, there you see the large sign. Then repeaters, 300 meters, VMS signs every 2 kilometers. And I'm just going to show you a short video taken on the roadside.
At this chapel with Stavros and Vangelis, 2 young men were killed. The father was a traffic policeman. Their lives were cut short because of speeding. On this 4-kilometer section of road where we've introduced the first ever speed enforcement corridor, numerous fatalities have taken place. I'm standing at a chapel where Stavros and Vangelis were killed, 2 young men. Their father was a traffic police officer, killed because of speeding driver going back to Athens. It shouldn't have happened if the driver was traveling at the right speed. The scheme is very simple but incredibly effective. Very large gateway signs, then high-profile signs repeated telling people of the 50 kph limit, and VMS signs reminding them of the 50 km/h speed limit. It's had a tremendous impact in reducing vehicle speeds and stopping these accidents. The police complement it with active enforcement, and that stops people getting killed. And what we want is this scheme to be replicated at hundreds of locations throughout Greece. All it needs is the political will. It's low cost, the payback period is simply a matter of months. And I just appeal and beg for those responsible in the regions of Greece and in the municipalities to follow this example on busy city and rural roads. It would save so much life. It just needs the political will to introduce them. Low cost, incredibly effective. The only thing which is stopping us is the will to do it.
Please drive on that section of road and you will see not one serious accident, never mind a death, since we put the scheme in. The Greek standard pedestrian crossing signs, I was shocked, and I still am when I go through villages and towns. You can't see the zebra crossings. Yet, this is Central and Eastern Europe. They use large fluorescent yellow-green borders. They cost around 130 euros a panel, but they can be seen. That's one from Tajikistan, before and after. Thailand used them. So simple. Let's see what we did with the trials we've done in Greece. This is Castella before. There's Castella after. Another one before, another one after. That's what they cost. A pair of medium-sized signs, 365 euros. Best-in-class pedestrian crossings. This is in Halkida before. This is after. And I'll just show you this video. Look at that crossing. You can't miss it. Floodlight, bright, simple, basic. And this is what, again, needs to be replicated. We are in the dialogue with the Greek Ministry of Transport to revise the standard, the COC, as it's called, to bring that sign in as a standard, not as an option it is now. So I have 1 minute 35 left, as John has been very strict. The key things for this country, with the greatest of respect, all come back, as others have said, enforcement. There are almost no speed cameras in this country. President Chirac, in 2002, his 3 priorities for his second term, the top one was road safety. He introduced a network of automated speed cameras. Between 2003 and 2013, it saved over 20,000 French lives. Speed cameras should be used in Greece like the rest of this country. You can educate to your heart's will, but you get a testosterone 21-year-old driving, they won't be conscious of it. Seatbelts. So many people in Greece don't wear the seatbelts. They should enforce seatbelt. And when I was in Athens yesterday, I stood in the center of Greece, in the capital city, and around 35% didn't have helmets. So enforcement of speed, helmet wearing, and seatbelts would save so many lives, and things which I've shown you there would also complement that drive. Thank you.